Hello there, my name is Vynny Voodoo, and a while back, about a month ago, just as the Vanguard Alpha came out, I made a video that asked if a Vanguard would make Warzone a better game. I actually kind of came to the conclusion it would, and there was a variety of reasons for that. The darker, grittier feel of it, the cloth, the hair that was on the operators was better than we get the static stuff that we currently get on the operators, especially the ones that come from Cold War. There was also the fact that we're going to be in a different location. I did predict in that video that they wouldn't get rid of Verdansk, and I was wrong, at least seemingly so. It hasn't happened yet, but I believe on the 9th, the 8th, for people who own Vanguard, we will get to play the Caldera map. So the question remains, having played Vanguard, the full game, do I still feel that Vanguard will make Warzone better? Without further ado, why don't we dive right in and take a look. One of the first things I noticed when playing Vanguard was going into the actual settings, and I saw it actually as auto mantle, auto jump, which is something I've been asking for a while, either from the ground or from the air, and I'm hoping that, along with the FOV slider, goes straight into Warzone. I guess the time will tell. But why don't we jump into a multiplayer map and actually have a look at what we're seeing here. Now, in this map, I wanted to sort of contrast and compare with farmland, because this sort of looked like it. And immediately I noticed this grass here. Yeah, destructible environments, lovely, lovely. Why is all the little bits of grass square? And this isn't just on my system, this is on every system. They're there. And I wanted to test out the old destructible environments, which, by the way, I don't think are actually doing too well in the old reviewers' and players' eyes, because it gives you a much greater unfair advantage if you're behind one. But anyway, back to the actual graphics, because that was the reason I was here. You tell me, as we currently have farmland now, does this look better or worse? I like the mist in the distance, but that grass ruins it. It's just a flat, a horrible green, just to me it looks like a PlayStation 2 game. So with that in mind, I actually went to a map that was set at night, because the other thing that Warzone gets wrong is night, and this was more promising. The trees in the background are black and dark, exactly as I would want, and I did actually do a video on how bad the night mode in Warzone normally is. So this is good. This is, you know, all right, we've got bad grass and good night. Although if you have bad grass, you're not going to have a good night. Anyway, I was shooting this. I noticed a lot of the stuff is sort of destructible, and it needs more of that in Warzone. But yeah, the night in this map, if it is in any way indicative of what night mode in Warzone will look like, is good. So then I thought, well, let's move on to having a look at the next area, and that is in fact this. And I wanted to see the buildings in the distance to give an idea of, you know, what the resolution would look like. As we know, buildings often don't resolve currently in Warzone and look like eggy shoeboxes, the marshmallowy type effect. Now you tell me, as I'm looking at this building in the distance, what game does that remind you of? Is it Fallout 4? Are we going that far back? Yes, it's a multiplayer map, I get that, and you're not going to be looking at the distance, but I'm using this as a kind of litmus to see if this is indicative of what the Caldera map will do. And speaking of that, since it's set in the Pacific, I thought I'd have a look at this Pacific multiplayer map here, and it's got these great trees that are flapping and violently tossing in the wind there and chucking off fronds. But unfortunately, not a lot else is, including other trees. It's weirdly dodgy that they've got that violet tree that I'll look at in a minute. You see that frond there is not moving at all, and yet other trees are flapping wildly. It actually highlights it. Some trees were obviously animated, and some trees weren't. I don't know why. Either all or none. It should have been something programmed in. It's windy. Things should move, not just one thing. So then we come to the worst bit, and that's chasing this weird shadow. You see, as I'm walking around, it's like I've got mage light on. Now this gun doesn't have a flashlight on, in case you're thinking it's that. I enter this area and it brightens up, and then as you leave it darkens down, and I thought, well, maybe it's something to do with this map. No, it's on other maps as well, as I'll show. I don't remember this in any other Call of Duty having this problem where you're chasing this weird shadow that's brightening up an area. but for some reason it does here. I've not seen it mentioned in any reviews. I've searched extensively for it. Again, I'm chasing the shadow here right in front of me. And I thought, well, like I say, maybe it's just this map. So I went to this kind of outdoor sandy map. There it is again. As I'm heading towards that door, things are brightening up. And it actually gets worse because it removes shadows that add to the detail. If you look over on the right there, there's a kind of hut, kind of like made out of sticks and stuff just in the distance. Watch what happens when I walk up to it. The entire shadow of it disappears. And as I back up, it returns. Now, I've seen shadows come in the past, but I've never seen them go. So then I thought, okay, let's have a look at the sea. So the first thing I look at, this happens. That's a screen space one pass, reflection one pass. So the sight is actually reflecting in the water. I mean, that's completely unforgivable. I mean, you can see the screen space reflection coming in there. That's fairly normal. And it probably won't happen on current gen because they'll probably be doing some sort of RTX ray tracing. But on my PS4 Pro, that's what it looked like. And in other maps, the sea isn't much better. That effect there is just unforgivable. And yet there are some effects in water that look great. In this map, for example, you've got this corrugated iron roof with the kind of like the water coming off it. But then you go up to the sea and it's just this two pieces of textures slowly rubbing up against each other. Now, Caldera's set in the sea. And to contrast to what we've just witnessed, I want to show you these screenshots from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I know as soon as you see them, you're going to say it's a different type of game. I mean, look at that lovely foliage there. But the thing is it may be a different type of game, but it's open world, sea, it's set in Greece. You know, there's no reason why the sea effects in this game couldn't be in Warzone Pacific. They won't be. Nothing close to this will be in it. But if Vanguard's sea effects are anything to go by, we're going to have a bad time with Caldera. Oh, excuse the arse there. But yeah. All right. I'm going to leave it there in terms of my complaints and my observations of Vanguard. Why don't we back out and sum up? And so that's just a tiny look. I did spend quite a lot of time looking at the maps in Vanguard, and let me put this disclaimer out straight away. Everything in Vanguard may have nothing to do with Warzone Pacific. It may not in any way be an example of what to expect from Warzone Pacific and the Caldera map, but you know, it's all the information that we have to go on, and I think it's a safe bet. Same engine, you know, same area. The fact that Warzone Pacific is basically part of Vanguard. I mean, they didn't call it Warzone Vanguard, but they probably talked about doing it. The effects in Vanguard in terms of the visuals on the sea, that weird shadow thing, it just doesn't bode well for Warzone, and it's sort of reversed my opinion of Vanguard making Warzone a better game. But I'm happy to say I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I like Warzone and I want it to look better. My most successful videos are talking about how to make Warzone look better. But here we are. I did notice that just as I came to record this piece of audio, we now have Secrets of the Pacific as a mode. One of these kind of like you do a few little challenges and stuff like that. But every single one says in Battle Royale, go to. In Battle Royale, look for Battle Royale, Battle Royale, Battle Royale. You can't do a single one of these challenges in Plunder. So it's kind of like, thankfully they didn't get rid of Plunder just for this mode. But I'm not going to Battle Royale just to do this challenge. So yeah, that's no good to me. And obviously you can do them in Vanguard too. But since I don't own Vanguard and I was just using the free weekend to do this video, I won't be doing this particular challenge. Yes, and once again, Plunder gets kicked in the bollocks. But anyway, this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think Caldera is going to look like. Is it going to look better than Battlefield 2042? Is it going to look better than Warzone Verdansk? Let me know. And it just leaves me to say that, as ever, my name's Vynny Voodoo, and thanks for watching.